Yo, thank you for clicking and watching this video. Hopefully you enjoy this segment. If you want to stay up to date with all the releases and videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. As well, hit the notification bell so you always get alerted whenever we're dropping something new. Until then, enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks again. You and Agent, right? Let's pick up from there. Y'all are best friends. You've been knowing him since he lived out in Canada. And before he even made the transition to the U.S., if I'm not mistaken, you helped find a crib to get him to move from Canada to the U.S. Yeah. You told us how that relationship started. However, did you expect it to become to the point where you guys have several business ventures together? Later down the line, you guys are, creating amazing content, whether it be playback, peer-to-peer, things that we're going to touch on later in this. But, I mean, you guys' relationship is amazing. Did you see that from the jump? Did the chemistry hit from the jump?
Not really, because at the time when we creating content, no one is really doing, you know what I'm saying? Like at the time when we're creating content, you just uploading videos and hoping that it works and you having fun with it. The idea of creating a career, especially to the level in which everybody is at right now, that wasn't really a thing at that point in time. And the only thing that people had to go off of was like Machinima, COD, content creators like C-Nanners, Hutch, even Chris Smooth and stuff like that, Jive Turkey, Chase Money. It really wasn't like a sustainable idea. So no one didn't know what was the next pivot or anything like that. So no, to answer your question, no. Because especially at that time, we were still, again, he was trying to figure out how to pivot off of my GM content. So we were just staying up late at night on Skype calls, constantly trying to figure out, all right, can you do this, do that, how to figure out other ways to like just create content in 2K. Because at that time, bro, if you were a My GM content creator, that's all you did it. If you were My Team opening packs, that's all you did. Park came along. If you did Park, that's really all you did. No one really shifted back and forth from different game modes. Agent was, in my opinion, Agent is the first one. It's actually the reason why I think he is one of, if not the greatest 2K creator of all time, because he was like the first one to really interact in every single game mode. And I remember I was there like literally along the way when we were up 3-4 o'clock in the morning on Skype trying to figure out different ways to like pivot and stuff like that.
And he was doing that back then at only 50K subs. I tell this to whoever asks me who have I learned the most from in YouTube is Agent. Yeah. And he's never sat me down and told me nothing. I just watch. When they got the first AMP house, that was the first time I was able to watch him work. The same room that y'all would do playback in. At some point, I just come in there in his room because, he made like a patio into his room. Yeah. I come in there and he'll have a meeting with Thumbnail Guy. He'll have a meeting with the guy who helped him come up with ideas. He'll have a meeting with, and I'll just see how he works intensively. And I was like, yo, bro. And then I'll sit down and have a conversation with him. As you know, he's one of the most intelligent people as well. And that's why I thought that y'all did such a great job with Playback, because you have two intellectuals talking about social commentary. So you get point of views that are really important and also oddly correct on certain topics. What have you learned from being around him? You've been around him longer than me, and I've learned a lot from just watching how he move.
I think Agent is like the hardest worker.
Bro, it's insane.
It's not even, and again, this is not, I mean, obviously it's Glaze because that's my guy, but like, I don't even think it's close.
No. Trust me. I'm seconding that, but you got your own. Yeah. I would double down. You're not glazing. You're correct, brother. Like
I agree. Like it's a lot of, because I think even he will say it himself. Like he's not the smartest. He's not the funniest. He's not the most entertaining. But like the way in which he meticulously kind of adds on to who he is as an individual and how he's been able to maneuver in the space and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that. And I guess if you talk to the right people, I'm pretty sure they would probably say the same thing about me as well. But there's a lot of things and concepts and how things operate in the space that I know for a fact because of him, that's how things operate. And even beyond like AMP, like you said, the way in which you're talking with thumbnail creators and stuff like that. Like shout out to Caleb, because Caleb is probably like, he is the best hire we've ever had.
Yeah.
The way in which Caleb has structured his business model now and how everything is built off of that all stems back from like things that Agent and I were doing 10, 11 years ago when we were back in Skype calls having conversations. So the same way you see him like talking to a thumbnail designer and talking to somebody else, map things out, that is literally what we were doing in Skype calls 11, 12 years ago. Like literally the exact same thing.
I remember being this early AMP, so this is like 2021. I remember being around Agent, and the switch happened to where Twitch seemed a lot more appeasing at the time. He had a couple YouTube channels. He would upload on some, but I remember I was around at this time where he was just like, yo, I think I'm going to take this Twitch shit serious right now. Like, this is what I'm going to go towards. God be my witness. Maybe 7 months later, the nigga was the biggest on Twitch. He literally just decided to change his route from YouTube to Twitch in about 7 months, because nothing happens overnight, but it was just like, if you seen the ideas, the effort, the time he put into it, like the nigga just like, he like a beast, bro. Like I seen it. And for people who don't think that's impressive, yo, bro, being a creator, it is very tough to just switch lanes and just be successful. Right now, you create content on basketball, my nigga. For you to be like, you know what, I'm going baseball. In 7 months, be the biggest name in baseball. That is impossible.
That's the reason why I said that he is the greatest 2K creator. And people got upset at me when I said that because they think that I'm like diminishing Smooth and stuff like that, which is cool. Like if you think Smooth, like that's not even. But and I hate to sound this way because it sounds like the same way, you know, NBA players and athletes be talking to people like me about like the sport. But it's like, but you have no idea how difficult it is to pivot into a new direction, a new lane, and be successful. Like you have literally no idea how difficult it is. And you can go ask several content creators to this day. That is part of the reason why some of them don't even create content anymore, because they stayed in the lane. They stayed not only in the lane, but a specific genre. Like I said before, bro, back in 2K days, if you open packs in my team, that was literally the only thing you did from start to finish. Start to finish. My GM start to finish. That was literally it. Agent was able to take one game and create so many different pieces of content out of one game, to the point where by the time he got done playing 2K, he wasn't even putting the game 2K on, and he was still creating content off of the community and stuff like that. So then to pivot off of where we are right now, like, yeah, Agent has basically, in some capacity, he has succeeded in damn near every aspect of content, from now IRL with streaming, with AMP, with a collaboration type of group content house and stuff like that, podcasting that we did, social commentary that we did, gaming that he started off with. Like, there's literally no the
nigga never lost.
There's no piece of content that he has not been able to touch, and it has not at least reached a level of success that has been noteworthy. And so, like, again, people have no idea how difficult that is.
Yeah.
They just don't know. And it is petrifying when people are trying to pivot from one direction to the next.
Man.
But watching him do that routine, like, over and over and over again, bro, it's crazy.
In Basketball Reference, it's like the nigga who getting a triple-double every night, but you don't really understand what it takes to do that, and you'll see why it hasn't been done for a long time. So now we moving along.